American losses were rising steadily, but the US authorities were still trying to downplay the extent of the insurgency, and it wasn't always possible to get the exact figures for the number of combat casualties. Most of the injured were brought here, the 28th Combat Surgical Hospital Unit, part of a secured zone in the center of Baghdad.
Okay, that's fine. Treatment room. If we can move out that litter, bed 9 or 8.
Can I ask what he's been brought in with?
He had an IED to his chest, which means he had a piece of shrapnel that went through the left side of his chest.
Right.
And he's got something in his neck too, so that means he needs to go to the operating room.
The US government was trying to paper over the cracks by bringing their wounded back to America under the cover of darkness and banning media coverage of funerals. I've just been here, I arrived, and 10 minutes later, there's 2 helicopters landing. Is this what it's like every day?
It goes up and down. The last couple of days have been a lot of casualties coming through.
A lot of injured, but not being as reported on as much as the soldiers being killed. The public themselves, saying I don't want to get myself in trouble here, but I do believe a little bit of being misled.
More people arriving? The wounded were accompanied by their platoon buddies, who waited by their sides until the moment arrived when they could be taken back home. How long have you been out here for?
In
Iraq?
In Iraq, since April 1.
Since the beginning? Without leave back home?
Yeah, I went back to bury my best friend when our colonel and 2 other soldiers of ours got killed in a firefight. I was selected to take them back.
The leave you had was to take buddies back from here to be buried in the States.
That was a way to get me back to fulfill the wishes of him and his wife.
Right. I was going to ask DJ, because you were at blast site, you were saying.
Yes.
And do you remember what happened?
Just a white pickup coming the gate. As soon as it passed me, blew up. That's all I remember.
Right. And what did the doctor say? You've got shrapnel?
They pulled some shrapnel on my right leg. I've got some shrapnel damage and nerve damage to my left hand and arm.
Right.
And I got a hole through my left ear and a gash in the back of my head.
I bumped into a GI who'd been attacked near Samara. I've been trying to set up a meeting with the resistance there, so I asked the soldier what had happened to him.
We were not quite to the Samara bypass, and a vehicle come up by us and started firing into our rear vehicle and then into the next vehicle, knocked us off the road, and there were people in the ditch waiting also, and we got caught in like a crossfire. And then our hired security got us out of there, luckily, but we lost 2 people and had 4 people wounded.
When was this?
That was Christmas Eve afternoon.
Right.
Yeah.
And you got shot, that's a bullet, Kalashnikov, that went just by your...
Right.
Yes. Was it just a flesh wound or...?
No, actually they pulled the bullet out. I've got it for a souvenir. I just have an extremely hard head, fortunately.
There was that Operation Ivy Blizzard in Samara, where they picked up 100 people,
right.
And yet you got attacked just after that.
Heck, after World War II, look how long there were things going on after every conflict for a good amount of time.
Right.
And this is no different.
Do you feel this is after the conflict, or this is the conflict?
Oh, that's hard to answer. I don't really have an answer for it.
Right. Just hearing on the radio another helicopter coming in with new patients. That's another lot coming in now.
Yeah,
a helicopter.
Gunshot wound to the head.
Gunshot wound to the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
You pay on the phone, I'll do that. Nope. Go lay it back down. Cut here, doing gas in the back. Well, let's give them a gram of hand stuff. There you go, right here. I want a 1 liter bowl from 1 fluid and going about 75.
How long have you been out here?
I've been out here for almost 5 months now. So it's been a very big eye-opener. Back in the States, I didn't hear, heard of patients dying, but you didn't hear about the casualties. The casualties are actually a big eye-opener.
Right. What's it like? I mean, you working here?
It's very stressful. It's hard, sad, especially when you got these people that have lost limbs or, are trying to get them back to their families and, just the thought of what their families are going through, waiting for their family member to return, that's kind of a burden on you. But the fact that we get them home, that's the nice thing about it.
I wasn't expecting this to be so traumatic. I've been in the hospital all day now, and those helicopters have been landing every few hours. It's very easy to read in the newspapers or watch TV about Americans doing this and doing that, an American policy, the American president. It's when you meet a person face to face who's been injured, who's suffering, and it's shocking. When the things people are saying to me away from the camera are even more shocking. But it's really that this is what you read in the newspapers doesn't really do justice to what's happening here.